Mike, turn your games down.
Time for episode 348 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's in a fake sequel with me tonight?
I'm Kendall.
Alyssa.
This is Joe Larrey, and I am ready to talk about Pokemon Cut and Paste Edition.
And I'm Kyle, and I want to be the very best.
Like this game never was. To see all the same worlds that I saw before. Yeah, that's
accurate.
Okay. So we're here to talk about Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, developed by Game Freak, published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and came out in 2012 for the DS. And has never been re-released and probably never will be, because fuck you, Nintendo. So
It's more Pokemon Company.
Yeah, this game is like impossible to play unless you do devious methods.
I mean, you just play it on original hardware.
I didn't buy it in 2012, and it's like $300 now. So
it is.
Yeah, it's like the all the old Pokemon games are super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And this is also the first. I play a ton of games on this podcast, and this is the first time that I ran into a ROM where I got hit with the anti-piracy ROM at first. Where I was like, I wasn't gaining any experience. I'm like, what is going on here? Do I have to get an item? Like, this is weird. So I was playing a little bit. I'm like, this makes no sense. So then I Googled it, and they're like, yeah, you're playing you have an anti-piracy ROM. So
that's why.
First time. I play so many ROMs in my life. I've never gotten any of the copies that are, anti-piracy before. This was the first. So I was like, fuck you, Nintendo, again. And you're right. This game, it's weird. There's ones on sale for $60 that say brand new.
Those are fake. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like reproduction ones.
Yeah.
But it's just a ROM on a DS cart. It's like a flash card.
Okay, so the real ones are like the $130 one and $140 one.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they even say repurpose or They just say
Nope.
Memory Pack Edition.
I'm surprised it even says that.
Oh, you can tell if you look at the back pictures, you can see the SD card slot.
It's also how the screws too also give it away.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
The try.
Who the fuck is paying $60
Tri-Bolt thing
for a ROM?
People who don't know better.
I found it on the internet for $0.
If you want to play it on, if you want to play it on original hardware and you don't know how to put it on a flashy thing, I mean, I've considered picking up golden heart gold or soul silver that way.
The flash carts are good. The problem with this is just a flash cart of one game. You can buy like 30 for one, those type of things that will have all the Pokemon games and it will run on your DS. Because I originally tried playing this on a Pokemon on my flash cart, and the pirated version, the non-piracy version would work, but then when I put a version that they fixed it, that wouldn't run. So I had to play this on my computer, unfortunately. Or no, my Steam Deck. I played it on Steam Deck.
So should I sell my copy then?
I mean,
if you have the case, $160 on eBay.
You could get a lot of money for it.
I mean, if you're not a collector, fucking sell it.
I mean, this isn't going to be a shelf game, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm surprised that this one is as expensive as it, because this was like in print for years.
Available because it's just locked to the original Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess so. It was
because Nintendo's dicks and just never makes their stuff accessible.
It'll come around. I think. I think it'll become available eventually when they need to.
2035.
They'll do a remake of it before they re-release.
Well, they'll do it. Well, I mean, they did the up through was it just the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games were on the virtual console. So I bought those.
Yeah.
Game Boy Color, yeah.
I think they'll just
Crystal,
because they've got
They still never put the old Pokemon games on the Switch Online. I thought they did.
Yeah, because they have to keep putting new games on there every month. They can't. They got to keep putting new stuff out. There's only so many Game Boy games that exist, so they gotta.
They put Pokemon Stadium on that service, but you can't even use the feature of transferring your Pokemon.
Yeah, but have you ever played vanilla Pokemon Stadium? It is so much fun.
It is.
That's the way to play it with the rental Pokemon.
Okay, so the ones on Switch Online currently per AI is Pokemon Trading Card Game and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. That's it.
For Game Boy?
For Switch Online, it's
all the Stadium games are on there too.
Stadium games are on there. Snap is on there.
And I know the GameCube ones are coming soon.
Yeah, Coliseum was announced that it's coming.
If you buy a Switch 2,
it's exclusive for the Switch 2, which is really stupid.
Yeah,
and pay even more money for Nintendo Online to get the GameCube games, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's just the expansion pack. Which you should have anyway for
your pack is the Switch 2. I thought, shouldn't that be?
Well, yeah, you do need to buy the Switch 2, but you're gonna buy a Switch 2 eventually. Like
some people,
it's gonna be the Nintendo console for the next 10 years. So you're gonna buy one eventually. You may as well buy it now. It's not gonna go down in price.
No,
in this day and age, it'll go up thanks to tariffs.
It might go up. It might go up, but I mean, the Switch never went down in price, so so just buy it. Yeah, pick up a Switch 2 when you can. I haven't played a lot of my Switch 2, but I'm happy that I got it. Mario Kart World is awesome.
We should do memories. I'll go first. I have never played this game before. Because I missed the entire DS library for Pokemon. That's partly why we're doing these episodes, because I can go back and relive them. And so I never played this game. I knew nothing about it going in. I thought, in quotation, that it was a real sequel, and I was let down. Kendall, what's your history of Pokemon Black 2 or White 2?
I mean, it's sort of a sequel. It takes the story. Just because the story is bad doesn't mean that the story isn't a sequel. But so Black version was. So I've talked about my Pokemon history a lot before, but like I was, Gen 1, Gen 2 when they were coming out, but I was the wrong age. I was middle school, so too cool for Pokemon. My now wife got me a 3DS with Black version in like 2011 or something when we could not afford it, and played through Black version, and then sort of like it was like kind of I played that, and then I don't even think I finished it. I think I took a few years off and then finished it. So I kind of leapfrogged between Black version and Y version. And then when I started, around the time when I started my podcast, Beyond Bulbasaur, I was sort of just, with Beyond Bulbasaur, at least, especially then, I was like just trying to like engage with Pokemon content, like periodically just to prove to myself that I still deserved to have a podcast. And so I did, I think my wife got it for me for a birthday. I went back and played Black 2. And I will say that this game is much better if you didn't just play Black version. Like if you're just going through, it is actually a really strong, like just like I want to play a Pokemon game. But yeah, we'll get into some of the criticisms because I have plenty. I just want to go into it. I don't want this to be just like burning it to the ground. I actually think that this is for a lot of the reasons. It is very similar to Black version, but Black version is one of the best versions. So I mean, we're in the 5th generation. So, but we'll get there.
I promise we won't burn it to the ground. Burn to the ground. Burn to the ground. We won't do that in this episode. I promise. And Joe, what about you?
So this is my first time playing this game because, like you, Mike, I missed 20 years worth of Pokemon, and I only recently started getting back into it after Legends Arceus, and White 1 was recommended to me, and I played it, absolutely loved it. Meant to play this one shortly after it, but then I think that was around the time Scarlet and Violet were coming out, and I played that. That's a whole thing in itself, but yeah, so I was definitely looking forward to getting into this one.
And Kyle.
So I have played all of the gens of Pokemon except Sword and Shield and this gen, like kind of as they came out. I don't know, I've been into Pokemon. These gens, as in college, I was not into it, and then playing them later was just hard. But I recently played Pokemon White, and I was like, oh yeah, that's super fun. Let's play the sequel, thinking it would be also super good. Because like Kendall said, I think the first version is one of the best Pokemon gens that's been made. And so I was excited to play it, and I did have fun, but I also didn't have fun.
And Alyssa.
So this was my first time playing the game, and I actually didn't play like the original. So I have a different experience than you guys do with this game because I didn't have anything to compare it to. So I thought it was a pretty solid game just because, to me, that was just a regular Pokemon game. So, but yeah, it was my first time playing it, surprisingly. Like, I grew up on the DS and stuff, but I don't know. I really like playing Pokemon Sapphire, and on your DS you could play Game Boy Advance games, so I would kind of, play that instead.
Okay, so you did it right. Because we played, me and Kendall played Pokemon Black and White earlier this year, and I fell in love with it, and that's how this ended up on the schedule a lot sooner than it was supposed
Kyle was
to.
on that too, right?
Yes.
No,
Kyle didn't want to come back from this one.
Different other Kyle.
The other Kyle.
Oh,
should be Kyle.
the one that I called Zach.
I think so. That probably got edited out, but yes, he didn't want to come back for this
Kyle
one. I asked him.
This Kyle was on the Rogue Leader one, right? One of the other ones. You were on one of the other episodes I was on.
I do the Star Wars, the Ewok movies.
The Ewok ones. Okay.
Yeah, he was the only other sucker I could find that would talk about Ewok movie with me.
I got to be on all the Pokemon and all the Star Wars episodes.
Pretty much, yeah. You're on my some of my Star Wars episodes. The things that are more like we do a lot of random Star Wars stuff and a lot of Pokemon. So like with this game, for people like I have thought, like I knew it was the same generation, but I had still thought that it was going to be like somehow different than what it is. A couple towns are different. Otherwise, it's the same world map. And the thing that they do that like Black and White, I love because it's 100 or 150 new Pokemon, and that's it. And this game, they went, no, we got more. We heard you like Pokemon. So we threw in Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. We got Gen 4 here too. I'm like, no, bring me back to just one gen. I was happy. And it messed me up more than I thought it would. It
agree.
Just bothered me.
I used a lot of Pokemon that were not from this gen in my playthrough, but
Same.
I liked having to get to the regional to the national decks before you had access to previous gens Pokemon.
It was something nice about it because it made me experiment where when you give me the opportunity to use Pokemon that I know, I will unfortunately use Pokemon I know.
Yeah, especially if I know that they're strong.
Yes. I did use a bit different team. I started with the little seal guy, Oshawott, I think is his name.
Yeah.
I didn't like him, by the way. He sucks. But
agreed.
I wanted to try him. He's no Mudkip. I'll tell you that much. He's no Mudkip. He's no Totodile, that dog Pokemon. And he's just a joke for one person. And it was just something like, and this game also feels really hard.
There are some don't parts
understand
where
why.
There are a couple of parts where the level curve jumps a lot. And
now, did anybody else?
And it's like it's harder than newer Pokemon games because the XP share isn't always on, and you can only put it on one Pokemon. But so it's a little bit more grindy, like the traditional Pokemon games were, or like the first gens. It's like everyone talks about Gen 1. It's like Gen 1 was not good. Like let's be real, you just had to.
No, you're wrong. Gen 1 is a perfect game.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna go with Kendall.
Like. Yeah.
I think
sprites are the best.
Like I all of that, yes, but I mean, in terms of like the way that I played Gen 1, at least when I was a kid, like I just made my Pokemon like as strong as hell and just won. And like these newer ones, like you can use more Pokemon instead of just one powerhouse.
So it's not the problem. It's that you were playing. No, but so it's interesting you say, Mike. It's interesting you say, Mike, about the recognizable Pokemon, because I actually took notes, I wrote some notes. It's like a sticky note worth of notes, but I don't usually. But that's a lot for me. I don't usually do things like prepare for podcasts like this. So I think a huge part of this is that there's a charm to black and white version, just like Ruby and Sapphire, except for unlike Ruby and Sapphire, I actually like the designs in black and white version of those Pokemon. And there's a charm to being able to go to get goes, but I have the opposite problem as you, Mike, in that whenever I do a playthrough, like I overthink it and I'm like, I want to only use Pokemon that I've never used before, because there's 800 different Pokemon and I've played through Pokemon 900 times, and 850 of those times Gyarados was on my team. So like I go out of my way to not play with Pokemon that I normally play with. And so there were only 5 Pokemon on my team for my entire, I got up to 7 badges this playthrough. So I got to most of it. I got to the team plasma subplot, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, my problem was that like I felt like I was just seeing, the same ones that you see in every version. And yes. I wasn't able to make it feel like a Gen 5 playthrough on the level that I would like. Because like if you are going to give me all the Pokemon, you need to do what Gen 6 did and Gen 6 has 500 Pokemon obtainable before you get to 8 badges. Like, you can get 150 different Pokemon in your decks by the time you get like the 3rd badge in X and version. Like, it is such diversity. They really lean into the diversity. In this game, you're still freaking running into whichever, I don't even remember which one it is, the Pidgey analog is like the only flying Pokemon that you see.
Pidove.
Yeah, Pidove, yeah. Which is also the worst one of those. But
yeah, he's sucky, but
hey, he beat the game for me. Unfenced took me to the Elite Four. I didn't say he did a good job, but he took me there.
Unfenced was on my team as well, but he did not perform. It was
personally, I didn't run into issues with the leveling because, again, I only had 5 Pokemon that I used the entire game. I didn't even get to my 6th Pokemon, so I was fine. And I actually kind of like the earlier gen EXP share. There's something to it because, like, you just stick it on a Pokemon that's like your crappy Pokemon, and then you fight with your good guys, and then suddenly that crappy Pokemon comes out and he's gotten 2/3 of the experience every time because he gets more than half of the experience, which is great. But then, like, suddenly your Zoroark that was like level 20 a minute ago is now level 40 and just sweeps everything.
And Joe,
that's what I like. Yes, yeah.
Joe, what were you gonna say earlier?
I was just gonna say, with the difficulty, did anybody else like try the hard mode on this game, or?
Nope.
I think you were the only one that was tempted by the fruit of hard mode. Yeah, and you paid the price.
Yeah, I did. That was not fun.
But the truth was discovered.
Yeah, I
can't think of any more that song.
So that brings me to another one of the points. So when this game came out, it was a big deal that it was supposed to be a sequel, and one of the things was that there was a bunch of functionality that was kind of new to this specific game. One of them was the difficulty settings. There's also achievements in the game that you guys may or may not have engaged with.
Yeah, the medals, the trophies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know.
Pokemon centers.
Yeah. So that's a thing that people were very excited about in 2012. That I don't care about achievements at all in any format, but people really liked achievements in 2012. And then
I still do, but these aren't not like this.
There is a whole factor with the multiplayer, with the battle, with the battle point system in the subway and stuff that I think was more complicated. And if you were really into that in the post game, that we probably won't talk that much about, but I just want to acknowledge that it exists and some people like it. Yeah, probably none of us liked it. But then there's, I forget if the triple battling and rotation battling new to this, because that's another thing.
Yes. I think
is that new to this one, or was it in Black 1 and White 1?
Well, I think it's new to this gen, so yeah, I think it's in Black 1.
Okay.
I thought one of them, either triple battling or rotation battling was new to Black 2, but I could be mistaken.
You might be right.
So, but it just felt like It just felt like it was throwing a lot of extra mechanics at you that maybe if you'd played the game, if you'd been playing the earlier gens and then they were just adding on to it, but this was that where Black and White version were like the critical mass of quality of life improvements, where I felt like, oh, this is the epitome of the 2D Pokemon experience. I thought that they kind of went a little bit past that point in Black and White too.
Well, the big problem for this is that you put a big 2 on your cover. Like, this game is essentially like Platinum or Crystal or Emerald. That's what this game is. And that's how it should have been labeled. It should have been Pokemon Gray.
Well, but there's 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think the problem is that the story was good, because the story does take place 2 years later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like stuff from the first games is referenced in the game.
Yeah, characters return too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and comes back.
When Charon is the rival in the first game, and he's a gym leader and hangs out with you and
And also, question. Did everyone have a hard time with that first gym leader?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
I don't remember having any troubles with. Which one was that?
That was Charon, the normal gym leader.
Yeah, he has a normal Pokemon. He gave me fucking trouble. I was not having it. I was like, this is not, like, I don't expect this And also made me curse my fucking Oshawott too, because he could not hold his own until, hell, he didn't really hold his own until he got fully evolved. That's the first time where he was actually like a good Pokemon.
I do think I did extra early game grinding because I got confused about the direction I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
That helps.
But that definitely happened to me too, and so I was pretty overpowered for the first gym.
Yeah.
What starter did everyone use? Because I had Snivy, and I feel like I had an issue with most of the gyms because I leveled them up, so early. I'm curious on like what starters everyone.
I had Snivy, and I feel like I noticed that a lot of the gyms grass type is not very good against, and Snivy does not seem to learn any non-grass type moves. So yeah. I had some trouble with him, but I had some heavy hitters that helped with him. I think he's like one of my weakest Pokemon right now.
I feel like you got a bit lucky though, because he has some normal moves and then like a few dark.
Normal is useless in this gen. It felt in this game. Normal felt useless.
Normal's tough.
Okay, it felt useless when I had normal. Didn't feel useless when they had normal, except I had a fighting type Pokemon.
I had so many fighting type moves that it like was wimpy.
Oh yeah, no, I made after that first gym, I made sure it wasn't a problem.
I started with Oshawott, and I mean it was fine, but I like the other Pokemon. It's my second weakest Pokemon. I did manage to beat the whole thing, and yeah, my Oshawott's level like 47. I basically beat the Elite Four with like and champion with 4 Pokemon because my last 2 are both severely underleveled, which was my starter and my bird.
Joe, who did you pick?
I picked Oshawott too. He was fine. I just did. I mean, when I played White originally, I picked the pig. I forget what his name is off the top of my head.
T-Pig.
Yeah, I picked him. But I wanted
he's that's the strongest one. I'm pretty for sure.
Yeah,
by far, that's the strongest starter.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. But like I said, I had a good team. I had like a Lucaria. I had a Flygon. Oh crap! Avalanche, I think is how you pronounce it. The little thunder spider. So yeah, I had a pretty all around team.
Galvantula.
Yeah.
I had a pretty decent team. I tend to go with certain types. Like I had an electric, I had flying, I had fighting, which is unusual for me, and I also kept. I think it was Kyle. Was it you? Yeah, I think Kyle. You had mentioned Cobalion, one of the legendary. You said that he helped you with the Dragon Gym. He went with me all the way through the Elite Four, and he helped me with
Steel resist Dragon.
He didn't really fight Dragon because he couldn't learn a freaking ice move. I tried. I bought a few. Yeah. He can't learn any. But Lucario could learn Ice Punch, and Lucario ended up. I used all my rare candies on him, so he ended up becoming the one that took out everybody, all the Dragon type.
I also had a Lucario that was the strongest Pokemon on my team.
You guys made it sound like the Dragon Leader was hard. I think it only took me like 2 or 3 tries.
It only took me 1 try, but I brute forced it. I was just super strong when I fought him.
Because Dark type isn't strong against Dragon, right?
It's like
I was using a lot of Night Slash and Crunch because I had a double Dark type on my team, Zoroark and Scrafty, which Scrafty is one of my favorite Pokemon, so I was happy to play as him. I wanted to talk a little bit about the story because, like, in Black and White, Team Plasma is actually interesting. Like, it's their plot doesn't make like a lot of sense, but they do have but they are memorable because they're PETA. They want they want
to protect Pokemon.
Yeah, they want to protect Pokemon. There's a scene that I made a short with where N talks to Professor Juniper, and N's like, "You're hurting Pokemon," and Juniper's like, "That's just your opinion, and it's just as valid as mine." And there's some political overtones to that about certain people wanting to be allowed to exist and other people wanting to be able to make them not exist and thinking that we can agree to disagree. But
that's fair.
But like, there's some cool stuff with with that and with all the gym leaders fighting Team Plasma, coming together and fighting Team Plasma at the end, and this idea of Pokemon want to be with people, and that's why I actually was engaged with the story there. And then in this, we've got like a little bit of the one guy of your rival is mad that his sister's Pokemon got stolen. And then you've got some former Team Plasma people who are like, "We're sorry, we were Team Plasma before." And then you've got the current Team Plasma, which are like, "We want to steal Pokemon and destroy the world."
So they're Team Rocket
and
now.
it's like, yeah, they're not even Team Rocket. They're like
they're just full bad guys.
Yeah.
They're like if Team Rocket, it's a mix between it's like throughout the game they're Team Rocket, and then suddenly they become the whatever the two teams from Ruby and Sapphire are who want to destroy the world.
Oh.
Like they just want to cause an apocalypse for no reason. And or maybe from Gen 4, maybe that's Gen 4. I don't even know. Those are all of the forgettable teams are that. Like I don't know. It really was like let's take between that and the using all the Pokemon. It's like, let's take the things that made Black and White magical and let's remove that.
So, I mean, their story was definitely weaker, but like towards the end, it like their finishing part was pretty cool. Like when they have the ice cannon and you have to go and you fight Kyurem and Ghetsis and like you gotta go through
that
the
was
caves
cool
and stuff. Like that part and N shows up. It's like they do like finish pretty strong, but yeah, Team Plasma is not.
They're just not as
fantastic in this one. Their purpose like isn't as strong. They're just
and they weren't as fun. Like there was something like I went through this entire game, but I wasn't like big about seeing where the story went. I was really just like, oh, I got another badge. Check that off my list. Like, yep, really all it was me following the guide and checking off what I did on the guide just so I know the game would end. Like this was not a fun 40-hour experience for me. Which is not the first time I played a game, didn't like it for this podcast, nor it will be the last. So
I enjoyed it.
But
I was look at a guide,
I was let down.
But it's pretty straightforward. Pokemon's point A to point B, basically.
Yeah, but when you're on a deadline, and I was getting really close.
That's fair. I
had to beat two other games in the same weekend, but to be fair, those both only took
Mike,
like an hour.
we've established this before that you play all video games wrong. Yes, I think it's just important. It is important to when you are on a podcast like this, it is important to acknowledge when the problem is you, the problem is not the game.
No, I won't say the problem.
I think there's legitimate criticisms with this game. I just and I know that you know that. I just want to make sure that the listener knows that you know, that we know, that the listener knows. I just think it's always, because this could be somebody's first podcast, and it's very important that they know that Mike does everything wrong.
No, I will.
Speaking of doing it wrong.
Yeah, did you play with sound?
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up.
I didn't hear one single sound in this entire 40-hour experience of the game. I heard Pawn Stars. I heard Iron Man. No, what was Iron Man 3? No, it wasn't Iron Man 3, but I heard a lot of Pawn Stars while playing Pokemon. Lots and lots of Pawn Stars. So I got to hear Chum-Li say, I can't do that for that price. A lot of that.
The Elite Four music was the best. You say you didn't hear that at all?
I didn't hear any music. The sound did not go on once the entire playthrough.
That's crazy.
You got to pull out the Elite Four music and listen to it.
I wasn't interested. Plus, music for Pokemon gets really repetitive for me because I do so much grinding. Like, in this playthrough, I did something I don't normally do. I tried to keep all my Pokemon within a 5-level radius. Like, once someone got to 55, we got to like 20, we all got to 20. And I did that for most of the game, even though my team, like, it starts off smaller, and as the game progresses, then I put more parts in the team. Because once you join the team, you don't leave the team type of thing. So, if you're like, I use an Ampharos, for example, for my electric Pokemon. Fucking sucks in this game. Sucks. He can kill people if you level him up a lot, but he sucks. And I fought better electric Pokemon, but he joined the team early. He stays in the team.
Did you do a Nuzlocke challenge and didn't realize it? That's what it sounds like.
No, I don't know. I mean, he fainted a lot. They all fainted a lot.
Yeah.
I just have a weird thing about that. That once you join my team, you stay on my team.
So I will push back though on the music thing. I have an actual point that I was going to make, but I want to tell you more why you're more wrong. You said it gets repetitive. What Pokemon games have you actually played with the sound on? And were any of them made after 2010?
Why don't you say that?
Point.
Probably none. The only Pokemon game that has sound is the original. That's it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but the DS has more processing power than the Game Boy. And so therefore there is actually more music. Mea culpa, I also generally play the 2D Pokemon games with the sound off. I just want to acknowledge that and I remember this from my previous playthrough, because I was also playing it wrong. I was playing it with the sound off and on fast forward the whole time in between phone calls at work.
That's a big part of it. But I wasn't on fast forward this time.
No, I was on fast forward, which I don't know, may or may not have been a thing. It was actually fast forward was the other comment that I had about a gym thing. But the rock and roll, I think it's the second gym leader, maybe the third, the one that's like at a rock and roll club.
The second one, yeah.
Second one.
Yeah. The music in that gym is some of my all-time favorite Pokemon music. And that is unique to Black and White 2, because in Black and White 1, in that city, the gym leader is the roller coaster one, which I went through that whole gym and got to the end. And then they were like, no, actually, the gym leader's not here. This isn't a gym anymore. The other building's the gym.
But you got to fight trainers. I did the same thing.
Yeah. I also did that.
Yeah.
I tried to fight a lot of trainers because it's good experience. And
that's
one thing I do in Pokemon games now is buy all the fucking items I can and just use items.
And I did some item using. I mean, I mostly just try to level up from trainer fighting. I don't like to grind. Just sit there and fight random wimpy Pokemon. And like my team, I mean, I like I said, I beat the game. My team was super underleveled. My highest level Pokemon was 62. It was the only one above level 60.
So there is one thing about this game that makes it better than any other Pokemon game, at least before. I'm not sure if I think that they've adopted this mechanic since. But what happens is when you use a repel and you run out of steps and you have another repel in your item bag, it asks you if you want to use another repel.
Oh, that's cool.
So nice.
And that is, for a repel user like me, is
fantastic.
Is amazing. Like it saves it is the biggest quality of life improvement of any Pokemon game, like other than the main EXP share. But then it doesn't because it's a quality of life improvement. It's not like an easy mode. Like it's not like, it's not like getting rid of HMs or it doesn't get rid of any sort of mechanic, any reason that you like Pokemon. It just saves you like 2 clicks, and it's something. And it took them 15 years to figure that out. 17 years to figure that out.
I mean, to be fair, how long did it take for Arceus to come out?
I don't know, but I never played Arceus. I like Pokemon games.
The best Pokemon game ever.
That one's solid.
And it took them how long to innovate?
That was 2022. So
yeah, like I mean, Nintendo or Pokemon Company is not known to. They follow the very mantra: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Well, yeah, and as they should.
Like the games are fun. Like I like, and I mean, as much as I've like talked shit, like I had fun. I played it. The one thing I like in this game, especially, is like they have the HMs, but they're not like a burden, really.
You don't even need
the only one you need is strength. That's the only
and
one
surf
actually, and
surf
and strength.
I'm 7 badges in and I haven't surfed at all. Yeah,
you'll surf at the end. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
You'll surf in Victory Road area.
That'll be my 6th Pokemon, because I don't think any of my Pokemon can learn surf right now. I would rather. I like HMs. I would rather.
But Joe, like you were saying, the game doesn't even make you use cut. You only have to use. You don't ever have to use cut.
No, it's just if you want to get some optional items, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a shortcut. There's some shortcuts if you want to avoid trainers.
Yes, but you don't have to. Like in every other Pokemon game that I can think of, you have to use cut at different points. In this game, I didn't have to. Like that to me is shocking.
And the post game, you have to use surf and waterfall.
That's the post game. I learned waterfall.
The Pokemon post game is usually pretty good. This one's it's extensive. Like
that's what the internet told me.
There's a lot of content in this game. Like even in just beating the main story in the Elite Four, there's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my biggest issue is that this game just felt off. I felt weaker than normal. I felt like I was playing this game in hard mode, but I wasn't. One, I didn't know you could. Like, if I would have listened to you, Joe, sooner, there's an easy mode in this game, too, if you type in the code like you did.
Yeah.
My ass would have went to easy real fast. But by the time that I realized
Maybe
that was
just need to be better
too late.
Maybe you just shouldn't keep Ampharos on your team.
Pokemon
no,
games
you
aren't
shouldn't.
that hard. Like you just
but
figure out the
one
type advantage and you. This one is tougher than like others for sure. Like I'm not saying that because there were a couple of parts where I struggled and like the fighting my flying type Pokemon was weak as shit, so the fighting type Elite Four member was the hardest one.
Well, I think that generally
shit against him.
I think generally the third version or remakes or like the thing that's not the first thing in the gen usually does evolve the AI so that it's a little bit more difficult and because it's aimed at people who have already played a Pokemon game. But I didn't beat the Elite Four yet. Maybe it gets harder, but the Dragon guy was easy. The one gym that I had challenges with, and it was my fault. It was anti-piracy, sort of, was the flying gym because I had it on fast forward.
Oh.
And you have to. There is actually like it's one of the only like twitchy tactile or whatever, like timing things that you have to do because you have to run from one spot to another before the wind blows you back.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you got to turn off fast forward.
So I had fast forward on, so I was like zip 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 up, no, back at the beginning, zip 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 zip, and then it was probably like 20 minutes before I realized I need to just turn off fast forward. That was also the gym. I think there was a level jump, or I didn't have anything that was super effective or something like that, because that was one of the hardest gyms for me, and you have to go through that whole puzzle every time. That was on
Pokemon. Me. That gym was not that. It was fine.
I caught an electric Pokemon for the gym, but it was not good. It didn't know any electric attacks yet. It was the bug one, the one that eventually evolves into the tarantula.
The little.
Yes, you do electric web, which did like no damage. And then
I had Ampharos, which knows Thunder Punch by then. Just fuck shit up.
So maybe I should have had Ampharos on. I don't like Ampharos because the first two versions. Because Mareep and
Thunder Punch.
Mine had Thunder Shock and some other weak electric move for a very long time in the game, and he was not like. That was why he was wondering he was so weak. He didn't have good electric type attacks because I didn't teach him. I never taught him anything really. So I don't know. Again, it was me partly because he was using Thunder Shock when I should not have been using Thunder Shock.
I had Thunder Punch on mine, and that attack does work.
I wonder if I was clicking buttons too fast and went through it faster, and just somehow didn't read. Wouldn't be the first time. Because mine didn't have Thunder Punch. I would 100% kept Thunder Punch. So I wonder if I was being dumb. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, I was multitasking with this game almost the entire playthrough. That's also why there was no sound. Like, if I rush through games sometimes, and then I rush through games. And this was one of those where, can you play a 40-hour RPG in a matter of, like, a week? Yes, you can, but you have to get creative with your time. So, yeah, that was part of it, too. Like, a lot of grinding with multitasking.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of my downness on this game does have to do with I was a little bit rushed, and I was like sort of having to. It was the procrastination thing where it was like then I got to a point where I had to play the game, and so I was like not wanting to. And as opposed to when I played Black and White version, I knew that I always do this with Pokemon games where I put it off too long. And then I end up at 6 badges the day before it's time to record, and I've rushed to get to that point. So I spent like 5 weeks on Black 1, and I spent probably two maybe 3 weeks on this one, and with a lot of gaps in there. Yeah. So I also I played it wrong. I think that the game itself is solid. It's a good Pokemon game.
Yeah.
If you want to play one Pokemon game a year. It's worth playing. It's not as good as the first ones, it's not as good as the game that comes before it or the games that comes after it. I hope I haven't replayed X and Y version. I really hope that it's as good as I remember because that was a real good version.
That's what I've heard.
You might be disappointed.
Oh. I am. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about X and Y. Never played them, but I've heard tons of good things. So I'm excited.
I was going to say, is that the one with the fusion mechanic? I thought there was a Pokemon game that had a fusion mechanic.
No. The X and Y introduces the Mega Evolutions.
Okay, that's them. Okay.
I mean, I don't expect to see Charmander and Squirtle go fusion and put their fingers together. That would be cool.
This game has a fusion actually when Kyurem and when you fight the end of the Team Plasma, when Kyurem shell fuses with either Zekrom or Reshiram, depending on what version you're playing. You have to beat the shit out of him. cha-cha.
Yeah,
And
that
Lucario's
upset me.
Like, Lucario was like ice punch, and he was like, ba-bam, it's over.
I mean, fucking Lucario he's a beast. As long as he gets to go first, he's a beast. You let him get hit too, he don't hit. He don't
he's
hit
super
long.
fast, so like, yeah, it's fine. But yes,
But he doesn't kill him in one hit. It's gonna be trouble for him.
If,
He can take a lot.
Lucario gets hit with a super effective attack, it usually
done.
is over.
I mean, this game did love its trainer battles. It did love its 3-on-3 Pokemons and the stupid shift thing, which I didn't understand how to do at first. I mean, also playing this on a Steam Deck, like I wanted to play this on the DS because I try to play all DS games as much as I can unless I need to cheat on a DS because it's made for DS. It feels better. I bought a flash cart. I have a legit 3DS, so I try to have that experience. I was bummed that I couldn't play this on the DS besides, the no level version, which I think would have been impossible to beat this game without leveling. Pretty sure I was not happy when I found that. It took me a bit to find a working ROM, too. I was surprised.
I own a legit copy of the game. That's interesting because I got my ROM from the place where you get ROMs. So
me too.
I didn't have any problems. I did think that my Zoroark was glitched because when you throw him out, he's like an illusion of a different Pokemon. And I thought that was like the game glitching and selecting a different Pokemon, but that's just the mechanic. But I played it. I own a legitimate copy for you Nintendo lawyers. I own a legitimate copy. I did play it on my Ambernick RG XX SP, which is the most awesome machine ever. So it looked like I was playing on a Game Boy Advance.
Alyssa, how did you play this?
I always play the games on the original console that it's on.
Okay, yeah, I should.
Come on now, Mike.
I can't. I mean, Pokemon games, like I want to. Like the thing when we do X and Y, I probably have to buy it legit, and that turns me off.
You own this? You also own the physical, like legit copy of this, then, Alyssa?
Yeah, I have it because I had it when I was younger. Well, I didn't play it. I got it for a birthday present when I was younger, and I just kept it. Because especially now, like you don't want to, because everything's so expensive and impossible.
Yeah, all those old Nintendo games have aged well in terms of value.
Yeah, I just have Pokemon Moon, and that's it. A legit copy, because it came with, when I bought my 3DS, it came with it. Because the guy was like, here, these are the games I have. He also had Pokemon, one of the remakes for Sapphire Ruby was on the 3DS, but I changed the account, so that's gone. So yeah, the only legit copy of a Pokemon game I own is Pokemon Moon.
Most of the video games almost all the DS games that I own and 3DS games I own are Pokemon games. But I've got a physical copy of at least one game from every generation except for Gen 3. Because when I was buying back into things, those were either expensive or like the battery was dead, because that's the generation that had like a some kind of clock in it that caused the batteries to die and not be able to have save files.
Yeah.
If Nintendo would re-release these on Steam or even just re-release them on Switch, and I saw them for $30 or less, I would have picked them up. Like I would have gladly bought this for $30 or less in a 2-pack on the Switch happily. I know that's a pipe dream, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really. But when you don't give me when the only option to spend $150 for a real copy on eBay, I'm not going to.
I mean, there's
you get it the other way, like whatever, like who cares? I mean,
people care. I don't work for Nintendo. There's people out there that care. You'd be surprised. I've been in groups before where I've talked about ROMs, like for old ass games. People are like, man, you can't do that. I'm like, if you want to play Mother 3, you're gonna have to emulate it, or you're never gonna play it. And that was actually I got an argument with someone once on Facebook about that. Like, come on, it's not coming. Just if you're interested, play this copy and be happy.
I mean, I just find the discussion like kind of tedious, because it's like some people, yes, you're right. Some people are going to be, I'm pretty anti-piracy in general, and I have my own, it doesn't mean that I don't do some of the things that are not the best, but like, yeah. And I agree that, but also like honestly, the vast majority of games are available legally. Yeah. You just have to have it. I mean, there are exceptions with Pokemon games. and although I own pretty much all of them, but even so, you can either spend more money on them and then you have a copy that you can play and or whatever, they still work, or you can emulate it. And I don't think that, and Nintendo cares, but they only really care if you're talking about games that they are trying to sell. So like if you emulate Nintendo Switch games, then you might be in danger.
I draw the line.
If you emulate Game Boy games,
I draw the line there.
So
they care. I won't mess with Switch until Switch is dead and gone. I will not. There's a lot of Switch games I'm curious about, but I will not touch Switch emulation for years still, because if it's still buyable in one form or another, I don't touch it. That's my rule. But like these old games that aren't buyable, they're not. No one's selling them to me other than some asshole on eBay. We ain't going there.
Yeah,
that's my rule. That's my rule of thumb for emulation.
Yeah, first of all, I think that some people are bad faith on both sides, but it's just like you just do what you got to do. I honestly think that generally when the companies get mad, when they do take down notices on YouTube or shut down emulation sites or whatever, you're talking about situations where either they're doing it on a large scale, or they're doing it, or they're pirating normal stuff. Or new stuff, but I also kind of don't like the idea that just because a game's 20 years old, it doesn't have value. So,
it's more of,
we still buy.
Game is 20 years old.
Still pay for Beatles albums.
Sell it to me.
Right.
That's
yeah. Sell it, or have it, or make it available on the Switch Online service. And honestly, with Pokemon is a notable exception that kind of proves the rules. Like all the Mario games you can play, most Sonic games are available either for sale or not, and then a lot of other games you can get for super cheap because nobody wants to buy them. Like it's
I follow the rule of thumb. Like I emulate tons of shit, but if I can buy it on Steam, I will buy it for Steam, but I will still emulate it because I want save states. But if you sell it to me, I will buy it in whatever form it is on Steam. I might not play it that way, but I at least will give you my money. That's my rule of thumb. I won't pay full price.
I play. Yeah, and I play games, and I don't know. Yeah, I do what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna get mad. I'm also like, I also like, my other thing is like, I'm not gonna get mad if one of the copyright owners gets mad at the site that I shuts down the site that I get my pirated copies off of. Like I'm not gonna be like indignant on that. Like it's kind of like I'm gonna do it, but I kind of also know that I'm being bad. Yeah, I don't know. We don't. I'm sorry that.
No, it's fine.
We just only had so much to say about the game. Yeah, but
so Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Another thing with this game that just felt off for me was there's something. I don't even know where I'm going with it. I think I mentioned most of my complaint. Joe, do you have anything to say about it that we haven't addressed yet?
No, it's just like I said, I agree with you guys. The difficulty, I think the story is not as good. I was really disappointed with the rival trainer in this game. I did not like Hugh at all, especially compared to the previous game where I thought they actually gave those rivals some pretty interesting background, especially with like the one being disowned from her family. Yeah, this is just a weird game to me because I don't want to say it was a cash grab, but it just feels like they needed to throw something out there, put something together where they could just use the assets real quick, because the beginning of this game actually feels very fresh and new because you're in new areas, you get to see new gym leaders, and then once you get to the third gym, it's just the same stuff from the last game with really very few differences. It couldn't even really give you any new character models or even switch up the gym leaders' teams. They're identical to the same ones from the last game. So it just seems real. I don't know if it was a time thing or if they were just like, we need something to line up with the cards or what was going on. But I feel like this is kind of the game where you started seeing not like the yearly release, but really where they started rushing the releases from this point on, because it just doesn't feel as well crafted as the other games.
No, I think that's very fair. But again, this is like, should have been Pokemon Gray. And I think that was also one of my biggest issues, because I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what I got. And maybe that's on me for having higher expectations.
It was the first and only gen to like break the mold of the third, like this, the third game being like it was an actual sequel instead of just like it's the same game but better, and like maybe there's like Emerald has the extra story in the battle tower, and Crystal has whatever, and Platinum had the upside down world or whatever, where Giratina the distortion world, and then this one was just an actual direct sequel, and it started out like Joe said, super super fresh, and then it does kind of stale off when it becomes exactly like the first game in the series.
I think though, to be fair, I think most people kind of knew, like at the time on release and the way it was marketed and stuff. Although it is the only direct sequel storyline wise, I think that what we got content wise, I think people knew. I mean, there was no third version, there was no gray version. This was instead of gray version. I think people knew that that's what that was. This was not a direct sequel. This was never going to be a direct sequel in the way that Gold and Silver is a direct sequel to Red and Blue. Like,
I didn't know that, though.
It didn't have new Pokemon. Yeah. Well, you've had 13 years to do the research.
I know. I can't disagree.
I mean, I remember I was listening to Pokemon podcast, because this was in the days of podcasts where you just put the name of the thing and then podcast next to it, and you got the URL, and then people would go on the Apple podcast thing and type in name of thing podcast, and then you would have listeners. This was those days. But I listened to Pokemon podcast when this game came out, and it generally got pretty positive reception because it was pretty much what people expected. Now the host never finished it, so that does say something about the way the game was, about the fact that this is the 5th generation and something big and something needed to change. And guess what? X and Y did change things up at least a little bit with EXP share, with the larger Pokemon stuff, with the selection with Pokemon Me, which was a lot of fun at the time. With lots of neat stuff, and with the rollerblades. That's the single best feature in any Pokemon game ever is the rollerblades in X and Y.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
You can use the 3DS has a joystick. So.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so great. You can do like little flips and twists, and you go around. You don't have to push a button to switch to your bicycle. You just use the circle thing on the 3DS, and it automatically puts you on your rollerblades. It's amazing. Such a great. Oh man,
my interest has went down to want to play another Pokemon.
Are we playing? We're playing X and Y next week, right?
No, next year, most likely, because we'll see. I do need to double back, and there's 2 other Pokemon games I haven't finished that technically are out before this. The Soul Silver, Heart Gold I haven't done yet, and I've actually never done Gen 1 yet on this podcast. So those might get done first.
Wow.
I'll do both of those episodes.
You would be.
Those are, I never
Alyssa,
played through
how did you feel since you never played Pokemon Black and White? This was your first experience with this gen.
So again,
you listened to us bitch for a while.
I have a very different opinion than you guys did, because again, I didn't have anything to compare it to. So I thought it was a pretty solid, I don't know, I thought it was fun. Like, you could make the little movies with your Pokemon, and the villain was pretty cool, and I don't know, I like the experience of this game, but I do get where you guys are coming from, because it kind of makes me think of Breath of the Wild. I didn't play the first one, but I played the second one, and I loved it. But the map is exactly the same as the first game, and I didn't know that because I didn't play it. So I feel like this is the same thing with this. Is I played this as a brand new Pokemon game to me, where you guys played the original, where you have something to compare it to. But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was pretty solid.
No, that's what matters. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because since you had a different experience than us, I wanted to see how it felt for you versus us who've been spending a lot of time complaining.
Sure have.
So we've done a lot of complaining. Oh, this game got me to use a new Pokemon that I've never used before in all my Pokemon years so far. I used a Magmar up until the end of the game, and he beat the game with me. I've never done that. He ain't great. He gets the job done.
Too bad you couldn't get the evolution Magmortar.
I could not trade him to anybody.
You can't trade anybody while he's holding the Magmarizer. See, that's why I didn't get any Pokemon like that. My fire type was Darmanitan, which is a beast.
I regret. Okay, so random thing. The reason I picked Oshawott instead of Tepig was because earlier this year I did a Pokemon March Madness thing with somebody on this episode. And we talked about Oshawott, and I had nothing to say, so I went, oh, I should try another Pokemon. I'll try Oshawott. And that's what went through my head when I picked him, Kendall, was because of you. I regretted it. But that was my whole reason for picking him.
Yes. That's
your March
one of my
Madness
favorite
episodes you do.
Every year is the March Madness episodes. Can't wait for number 3. Who knows what the topic will be?
I'm curious. But, I mean, that's why I picked it, because I felt like I need to experience more Pokemon. And since I'm playing this gen again, I managed pick someone different, but fucking Oshawott sucks. Man, he is not a super strong water type. And that's why I felt like a lot of my Pokemon, even when they were getting hit by stuff that wasn't super effective against them, they still were going home crying. And like they shouldn't have been. And that bothered me. I'm like, they should be fine. And they were not. And they were over leveled. Like I was usually a few levels ahead of stuff. Just how I play. Because I would look in the guide to see what the level Pokemon were, and then I would get over that. And then go fight the gym.
Yeah, but did they have the right nature? Did they have good IVs? Yeah, you need an EV train.
EV train for the defense stats, duh.
Yeah, there was none of that going on. I know what you're talking about.
You can do crazy shit with that. Like, I've seen, like, level ups where you, like, speed plus 20 because you just beat up a bunch of, like, Rattatas, and you're like, cool, man. This is great.
Oh, that's another thing that Gen 6 has, is they made EV training way easier in Gen 6.
Yeah, because you can, like, actually do it outside of battle.
Yeah, you can do it outside of battle, and then also there's horde encounters, which really help with EV training.
I do like that there's...
And you can see what your EVs are in it.
Speaking of cool things, and I don't remember if this was... I don't think it was in the original, like, white and black. The dark grass having stronger wild Pokemon in it was pretty cool. Where there was like there'd be like normal patches of grass, right? And then there'd be like the darker green patches of grass, and like strong Pokemon live there. You're like, cool. I'll go take on a bunch of Amoonguss and get more XP.
There's at least taller grass in Black and White 1, where you can't use your bike and get stronger Pokemon. But I think there were some other grass mechanics in this. Again, like they threw a lot of extra mechanics in this game that I think was actually kind of a detriment. But probably if you weren't rushing through and you actually read all the dialogue boxes, then it would have been a better experience.
What are you talking about? You act like I didn't read the stuff. How can you say that?
I was talking about myself.
Certainly true. Oh, I only read some.
I read pretty much everything. It was, I mean, the Pokemon stories are never fantastic. That's not why you play Pokemon.
No,
I like RPGs. Like, yeah, that's true.
What'd you say, Alyssa?
Like, for me, I said sometimes you have to read to know what you're doing. Because a couple of the times that I was like, I could probably skip this, I'd be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Like, gotta make sure that you're reading to know what you're doing.
Right, they tell you where you need to go next, and then you miss that. Yeah, like and
there's no like any way to figure that out afterwards. You're like, oh shit.
I was pretty annoyed with the one moment where that happened with me was I was supposed to go get Professor Juniper from the tower, and so I was like, okay, I must have to get her from the top of the tower, because that's how any other game ever would be, is that you would go to the top of the tower, and I go to the top of the tower and she's not there. I'm like, what? And so I go back down, I go all the way back to the gym, talk to the gym leader again. She's like, go talk to Juniper in the Celestial Tower. And so then I go back and she's in the freaking lobby. Like, she's on the first floor. Like,
yeah. Like, you got all the trainer battles and the XP, so it's worth it.
I mean, you go up there and ring a bell.
Yeah, I went to the top of the tower anyways.
What's the bell? But the bell has significance in the first game. Does it have significance in this game, or is it end game Team Plasma stuff?
Well, maybe you have to ring both the bells so you can then get down. You can then go to what does it open up in Dark Souls? I should know this when I'm trying to make a dumb joke.
No, it's like end game stuff for it, because it has to do with like summoning Reshiram and Zekrom, right?
Okay. So there is Okay. So it does. I thought it had something to do with the end game stuff, but regardless, she's in the freaking lobby, and it made me very mad. She should be at the top, because if you're going into a dungeon to get somebody, they should be at the end of the dungeon. Like that's pretty fair. Basic design. Like, you never go into a D&D and be like, you got to rescue the princess. She's in the lobby of the castle.
Yeah. Mario 64, you rescue Peach as soon as you walk into her castle. You're like, hey, what's up? You're trapped? The door was jammed. Thank God you showed up and opened it.
You have to kill one Goomba.
I mean, yes, you are right. It was odd to me that she was just there and not higher up in the tower. I mean, I saw her right away, and I went up to the tower all the way up anyway, thinking I had to do something up there, and then I turned out that I just leveled up a whole bunch, which was fine too. But I get where you're coming from.
I also, this is where I hate myself. I decided to make my fire-type Pokemon Growlithe, because I was like, you know what? This is because I ran into him early in the game, and it's a Gen 1 Pokemon that I almost never use because he evolves with a Fire Stone, and I usually avoid Pokemon that evolve with a Stone because you have to wait until they're level 65 before you evolve them, or else they won't learn their special attacks. And so, but I was like, no, I'm gonna use Growlithe, and I'm gonna really. And so then of course I get there, and then I'm like, oh, I already have a Fire-type Pokemon. I can't use Litwick, and Litwick's like one of my favorite Pokemon. So I just played through Black and White, or Black, whatever, White 2 and White 1, whatever games we played this summer, and I didn't use Litwick at all, and I feel like a bad person. My wife made a perler bead of Litwick. It's hanging on our wall.
The final Evo, Chandelure is cool. Picked up Pokemon.
Yeah, Litwick's awesome.
See, I don't know my Pokemon as well. Once you get past Gen 1, I'm much more confused. At one time, I could have probably recited all the first gen to you. I probably still could, but I'm not going to try. But, this makes me sad that I know my Pokemon as well. Like,
I have a lot of gaps in my knowledge. I have a lot of gaps, but Litwick.
I'm trying to fix it.
It's up there.
That's one reason we do these Pokemon games, is so that I can be more educated about Pokemon.
Maybe the March Madness bracket for next year is going to be which Litwick is the best. And it's just going to be Litwick against nobody else, and it's just going to win.
I mean, there's not much of a contest there.
Fun bracket.
Hey,
the Kendall Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who Litwick is.
Yeah, then,
I didn't use them. I murdered a lot of them. I didn't use them at all.
The Elite Four Chandelure is pretty strong.
Depends on what you hit them with.
I mean, I beat him up with the ground type move as well.
I've heard that fire is weak to water.
Levitate.
Oh, Surf did wonders to him.
No, my Oshawott was way too underleveled. He came in at the end for some Aqua Jet action when weak, and I knew that one hit would end it.
I was trying to be defensive of this game, but who's the person who's not Kyle or Alyssa?
Joe. Hi.
Bill? Okay, your name is Bill? Okay.
Joe.
Joe.
Yes.
All I see is a B on my screen. So Joe. Okay, Joe with a B.
That's because his Discord name is Boss.
I think you might be right. Even if you're named after the worst bounty hunter. I think you might be right that some elements of this were rushed. Because first of all, I was just complaining about finding Professor Juniper in the lobby. There's another moment where Professor Juniper just walks up to you and hands you a Master Ball. And it's like, that should be, it should come after something.
Well, and then to even further on that, like the 3 Swords of Justice legendary Pokemon, they all just, you just approach them and fight them. Like, there's no, they relocated to this area, that area, anything. It's just like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm here, I'm fighting.
And 2 of them are right next to a city, too.
I won't complain about that. After everything I went through for those 3 fucking dogs in a past life, I'm good. I'm good. I'll take the Pokemon right in front of me and go, hi, let's fight. I'm much okay with that.
I caught all 3 of them.
They're not that hard to find in Black and White, are they?
No, but they don't just show up in front of you in the main story.
I thought that maybe they did. I don't know. I thought they did, because I thought that I didn't get them this playthrough. I thought that one time I did.
I caught all 3 of them.
I thought that one time I did, because it was like one of those. You get to the Elite Four and all your Pokemon are underleveled, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna find a legendary Pokemon, and if I find a legendary Pokemon, then it will win the Elite Four, and then it did. But I don't think they're roaming or at the end of a thing. But yeah, it was weird that they were just standing right outside of a city.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this game has a lot of legendary. I mean, it has the fairies from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, if I remember correctly, and they're flying around, right? Like when you wake them up, they go away somewhere.
Yep, the sprites or the lake spirits.
Oh yeah.
And then you also have the golems are in this game too, which I did not know that.
Yeah, the Reggies.
I didn't do any of that. Heatran is in this game. I did not know that. Yeah, I didn't know any of this. I mean, but also to be fair, none of these really come to you probably until post-game. Like, I'm used to, in most Pokemon games, I will fight some legendary that I can throw my Master Ball at that's, like, powerful. Like, in the previous game, I did it with one of the Dragon types that's on the cover, and I used him to beat the Elite Four. I did it to Durant Hanna, whatever the hell his name is, on the cover of Pokemon Platinum. Like, the Zephyrum stuff in this game is all after you beat the Elite Four, and I'm kind of like, no, I want to do it before. Once I beat the Elite Four, I'd turn the game off. I mean, again, personal issue, but it kind of bugged me.
Yeah, that is an interesting piece of it. Because I get the box legendary until you beat the game.
Yeah, like I would have caught him and I would have used him in the Elite Four. He would have replaced the other thing I had. Easy. The Cobalt.
Because then it makes you level up like your Pokemon you've got along with their speed Elite Four, but just rolling through with a legendary.
I don't like it, Alyssa, but you're right. But that's my other issue is I want to have one Pokemon where I don't need to level up because I just caught him at 60 something.
I think, and I mean, I think it's a matter of like, is this going to be your game for? Because like more than any game, Pokemon games are your one game. Like at least on release, they like literally. Pokemon Black version was my one Pokemon game for 5 years, and until I got Y version, and you just play, and when you play those games, you put those are the games that you put 100, 200 hours into. You don't just play the 30-hour campaign, so you can't judge them just by the 30-hour campaign. And I agree that I generally don't use if it was a real good faith playthrough that I was doing, I would not use legendaries against the Elite Four. That would sometimes I don't even use starters. Sometimes I box the starter early, but that's me. That's my Elden Ring. I don't use summons version of myself, which I'm not always that person anymore. His life is
Joe,
too short.
You should have gave him the hard code.
Jeez, no, I can't. I don't want to force anybody to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the problem was I didn't have time. Yeah.
I got 8 badges, and then I just gotta stop. I had other games to play.
That's fair. I know some other games you have to play are, unfortunately, too.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, you didn't miss anything. I mean, it's the Elite Four. I mean, if you played a Pokemon game, you fought the Elite Four before.
Yeah, and they're the exact same ones from the last one.
That, again, this game, and maybe like what you said earlier, Kendall, had I been played this at the time and I knew what the marketing was for it, I wouldn't have came into it expecting and being let down. And again, that's fair to say that's on me, because that is on me. Can't argue that point, unfortunately. But that was just one of those things.
Mike played it wrong. I think that's what should be the name of this podcast. It's just Mike plays games wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong. If Richard listens to this, he has a GIF he will share in Discord. I can guarantee, or he'll just send it to me. Or not a GIF, but a meme that he made. So, yeah. No,
so,
it's not.
Alyssa, did you beat the Elite Four?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Did you do the post-game stuff too?
That's why I like the music, and I was upset with Mike for not listening to the music.
Well, yeah.
And I like some of the post-game stuff.
Okay, you did more than the rest of us then.
I like the fight with Iris when you're in space, with the space background.
I don't think I did any of that. No, I didn't do any of that. Who am I kidding? The guide had like 4 different things for all the post game, like 4 or 5 different parts, and I'm like, that's nice. Because I deleted the game off my Steam Deck. I do that. I don't keep any of that shit. It goes like, I have a weird thing. I beat games, I delete it, done. I moved on. Like it's I don't know. It's just what I do. I don't want to see the picture. Good, we're done. We're done.
When you reload the game after the credits roll, you're in your house and you go talk to your mom, and then you start doing some other stuff, going to some caves.
I'm happy to exist.
There's an extensive post game. Like the Pokemon World Tournament is like super well received, which I think that's a really cool concept as well. It's just got it's got gym leaders and Elite Four and champions from past games that you can battle against, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but can you battle with them with Ampharos?
I mean, yeah.
Can you battle with them on mute with Ampharos in 10 hours?
No, probably not.
So it seems like we've probably beaten this dead horse until it was dead. And is there anything else that people? I think I covered all my notes.
You guys are all just hating on this game this whole podcast.
Like there was a lot of negativity.
What were some things? What are we missing? What were some things that you liked?
Again, what I said earlier with the little like the making Pokemon, I thought that was super fun. It's something different. And I don't know, like, and I know you guys were talking about the TMs and stuff earlier. I like you can use Flash for when you're in the cave because I would use the repels in the caves because, you know, you had to use certain Pokemon to use that Flash in there. But I thought that was cool too. And I don't know. And then one thing that I was confused on though was like the Elite Four. There was like a random castle like below. Did anyone know what that was?
Yeah, that's End's Castle. That's from the first game.
Oh, because I saw that. I was like, why is that there?
Yeah, because you fight N in the first game, and it's the first game is really fucking cool. You should definitely play Black 1 or White 1 if you have it. You'll definitely enjoy it.
Yes.
That's so weird that there's parts that are like, we keep cutting off Alyssa. We should let Alyssa talk.
No, you're good. I was just saying that I think I have both of the games. So, but I haven't played them. It's kind of funny, but I used to get, you know, games all the time. Like I go to game stores and, you know, buy a bunch of games that, you know, are just sitting there waiting to be played. So
I know the feeling. I play games all the time. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get to this someday. Who knows? So I understand. All right. Any last things to say about this game? Should we go to questions?
I just want to say that this game
Please.
really makes me miss 2D sprites in Pokemon games because I just feel like when they transitioned to 3D, the models and the designs have just not been great. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just because I'm an old fart, but I just really appreciate seeing the old 2D sprites.
When did they go 3D?
After this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the last 2D one. The models in this game are really excellent. Like, and the battle animations are cool. The HP bar depletes fast enough. It's not as painful as Gen 4, but it could be a little better.
I think Gen 4 is one people don't like a lot, if I remember correctly.
That's the one with the super slow damage. Like the HP bar goes down so slow in that one. Holy moly.
People like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which is built on Gen 4, but but Diamond and Pearl I don't think are a lot of people's favorite.
No, I had a really hard time finding people to do that one with me, but I actually went a different gen and then came back because nobody wanted to do it at the time. It also was, I timed it badly. The time that I was doing it was when the remake had just came out. So people were playing the remake. Nobody's interested in playing the original at that time. So I had to wait a year or two.
When people like Platinum better than Diamond and Pearl.
I like Platinum. I think I liked it. I don't know. Go listen to the episode for those.
Platinum I did not like. Yeah, I remember not liking Platinum, but I probably also played it wrong.
All right. Let's go to questions, comments, and memories. I only have a few because somebody forgot to post this till yesterday. Oops. I usually post these on Wednesdays of the week, Wednesday or Thursday. I completely forgot. I went, oh shit, we record this tomorrow. And I had to post it. So first from I watched the entire Orbit Super replay from David Lewis. Mechanically and content-wise, Black and White 2 might be the pinnacle of the series. The wealth of things to do in the game is staggering. That said, I agree that as a casual experience, it's good, but his story didn't hit a lot of the heights of Black and White. It pays off a lot of lingering things, and it's definitely worth playing, but when I initially played it, I didn't really feel sticking with me the way that I hoped. Gen 5 in general was a bit of a weird spot for me, though, as I was playing the games a lot more casually, and not really getting to the real meat of the game, which is a lot of the post-game content and secrets. That's fair. From Jordan Bays, I love the game. I think it's so interesting. It includes a hard mode you unlock by beating the game that raises the level of all trainer Pokemon. I wish every Pokemon game included it. Also, the peak of 2D Pokemon, and we'll probably never see it again, unfortunately. I know we all wanted a big 3D Pokemon game, but I do wish we could see where they could go with the 2D games if they kept going on with the same path.
The hard mode raises the levels of Pokemon?
So all trainers Pokemon range, their difficulty goes up 1 to 5 levels. Gym leaders have an extra Pokemon. All their Pokemon movesets are different, and they use items way more frequently.
Okay,
that's interesting. All have an extra Pokemon as well, and their levels are like 5.
That's interesting because I almost think, I mean, I'm sure it is harder, but my assumption was that when you said hard mode that you would get less experience. If experience is scaling appropriately, then the higher levels would just make the game better. I feel like it wouldn't make the game harder. That's interesting. I might have to try.
I mean,
it's the
if
one
they cut down your experience, that just makes the game longer.
Well, the other issue is I was going to say the wild Pokemon, their level does not go up, and so you can run into areas when you're trying to level up that you're already like 6, 7 levels higher than everything else, and then you're not getting any XP.
Your baby is upset, Alyssa. Keep going, Joe.
No, it's
okay. That's that I hadn't thought, because I played through the Twitch Plays Pokemon hack of Gen 1 where all the Pokemon are higher level, and it's like one of my favorite experiences of playing any Pokemon game ever. It's the only time I've ever completed a Pokedex, because you can catch all 150 Pokemon in one playthrough of that. And when you play that, the like victory lap, like you beat the game and then you fight all the gym leaders again, and all of them have 6 level 100 Pokemon. And it's just like being able to actually use all the levels is really fun and really interesting. But you're right, if the wild Pokemon are weaker and then the trainers are stronger, that I could see how that would make it more difficult. But it is
the only time I've ever fought level 100 Pokemon was I played a ROM hack once in my life called Crystal, which was a ROM hack of Crystal but made with Fire Red engine.
Yeah, I think that Liquid Crystal might have been the same people that did the TPP Red hack. I think. Okay.
There's a lot of Pokemon ROM hacks out there, though. Ridiculous amount.
It was like their next project. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay. And to finish Jordan's comment, he also said, I also hope we see the region again in an eventual third Legends game. Love it as a way for them to keep exploring lore and stories from previous games.
Yeah, get ready. If they follow the path of the remakes, this gen's going to be the next one.
That'd be cool. And from RPG Sanctuary Group, I got a few comments, so thank you guys. From Joseph Guerrera. Well, between Black and White 2 and White, or Black, I think he meant Black 2, the conflict is different. In Black and White, you're fighting a fake Pokemon rights group that really just want the Pokemon for themselves and are pitted not only against that faction, but several rivals, each with their own motives and character arcs. In Black 2 and White 2, your main is really treated as a sort of second in command, while your fierce and vengeful rival Hugh seek to retrieve his sister kidnapped Purloin, only to be sidetracked by Corlez's who's up to his own shenanigans despite Team Plasma's public fall from grace in the first game. Black and White 2 are less about the misdirection and more about the heartstrings pulling. A little confused what he meant in that. But okay, from Dalton James, I like Black and White 2 better. I like the increased number of antagonists to battle. I felt the story was more mature, and I like the new fusion mechanic. Granted, I think I've hated every new mechanic since except maybe Mega Evolution. Is the fusion mechanic there, just a one Pokemon?
Yeah, it's just Kyurem.
Oh, that's not... Okay. And from Jason Holmes, just finished White last night, started White 2 today. And he posted a picture of his team, which I'm assuming he was using Game Shark, because he has Suicune, Raikou, Entei, and Lugia. I don't think they were all in Black and White 1.
Cool team.
Maybe I'm wrong. And Groudon. Isn't Groudon the evolution? No, that's something else. Not what I was thinking of. And from Julian Rice, prefer 2 over 1 for sure. Both are excellent, though. And that's all I have. The other 2 groups didn't comment anything. Because again, when you wait till the day before you record this, you get less people to respond. Who would have thought? And we should give away a Steam code. Let me see what my next Steam code is to give you guys. I have no idea what this is. You are getting the Texorcist, the story of Ray Bibia for Steam. The Steam code is 9NWQMZYRYZHEIQ9. That is your Steam code for the Texorcist, the story of Ray Bibia. Man, I get some weird ass codes I give away on this podcast. I just get codes. I don't seek out these codes. They find me when I buy bundles. So people just get stuff. All right, we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Alyssa, why don't you start us out?
Oh, I think I would box this just because there's a lot of other Pokemon games that I love more than this one. This one, I don't know. It's kind of like a one and done for me. So
okay, I'll go next. I'm gonna put this in the box too. I don't want to play this game again. I don't want to play with you anymore. Pokemon Black 2. I played it once. I'm happy I can finally mark this off my list, and I'm done. I ain't coming back. So, but still glad I experienced it, but it didn't hold my attention. Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the box. I think on its own, it's a very solid. It is a solid game, even though I know we kind of crapped all over it. I do think it's a strong game. It's just I feel the first one is just a much better overall game, and don't really I need to play this one because that one exists. So unfortunately, I got to put it in the box.
And Kyle.
I'm gonna put it on the stack. I had fun playing it. I had my gripes, but overall, I enjoyed it. It's not as good as the first one, so put it on the. It's a solid stack material game.
Okay. And Kendall.
So I believe the first Pokemon game that I reviewed on this podcast, I invented a new category called System, in which the game just remains in the system. I think it was probably Crystal version or something, because that's where my Pokemon games usually live. I'm going to create another category for this one. It's going to be called eBay, and apparently I should just be selling my copy of the game on eBay. It should not remain in the box because apparently it's worth like $150, and I have no real desire to continue to play this game. I'm not going to do that because that sounds like too much work, but that's where I'm going to, if we're saying metaphorically shelf stacker box, I'm going to say eBay. Or I'm going to say box that has a address on it to the person who bought it off of eBay.
Or you could just go to GameStop and they could give you $1 for it. It'd be more.
They'll give you $100 for trade-in though, or if for store credit. You can buy some cool friggin' posters.
I think 100 in trading credit is stretching.
Probably 55.
It's probably like 30.
Get some of their graded Pokemon cards. Ooh.
Man, there's no GameStops around here anymore, really. The only one left that I know is at the Mall of America, and I hate that one because they piss me off when I go there.
Since you bring up Pokemon cards, here's my soapbox about Pokemon cards. I have always been too old for Pokemon cards, and that line has moved over the years. So when I was 12, I was too old for Pokemon cards because they were for 8-year-olds. When I was like 18, you were good playing Pokemon until you were like 13. When I was like 25, you were solidly good playing Pokemon cards until you were 18. Now that I'm 37, I think I'm 37, something like that. Now that I'm in my late 30s, you can play Pokemon cards like all the way up into your late 20s. But I'm still too old to play Pokemon cards, and it's not fair. They need to change the rules so that people my age can play.
Those are self-inflicted.
You got a way better card game, Kendall.
That's true. You're right. You're right. Star Wars CCG is way better. But I'm just saying, like we're like it's that generational thing. It's the Gen Z people never were really ashamed of playing Pokemon. So people who are solidly in Gen Z have been allowed to play Pokemon cards their entire life. And I've always been just a little bit too old. And it is one of the great tragedies in my life. This and not having children are like probably the two great tragedies in my life.
Play the phone app one, the new phone trading card game.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. Well,
that's so bad.
Then don't.
I know probably the regular game is also pretty bad, but it's so bad. The phone game is it's a simplified version of a game that is like already pretty simple.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, one random thing since you mentioned poker, like I still remember I was at some card shop or something, and some guy was playing. It was. I was at some random card shop or like comic book store. They were playing Star Wars trading card game. I was talking to somebody about, like, oh yeah, I only know because my friend Kendall. He's like, I know Kendall. It was really freaking funny. Small world.
Wait, another person?
No, this happened a few years ago.
Oh, this was at the print shop when you ran into Mark, right?
I think so. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
He brought in trading Pokemon. He brought in Star Wars cards, and I was printing them for him, and we were talking. Yeah, and then he's like, I know Kendall.
Yeah, Kyle probably knows who Mark is.
Yeah, that was Mark Walseth. Yeah. Yep, the Rosemount guy.
I just saw him last
week.
Yeah,
like when I first met Kyle.
Well, Kendall, congrats.
Thank you. Yes, I was third place in the consolation
about going 10-8 overall on the weekend. Like that's a solid weekend, man.
Yeah. I was very happy with it.
That's not bad. Are you coming to Worlds?
I don't even.
I'm not going to Worlds. No, it wasn't in the cards. But I will be doing Nalheta regionals and Corellia regionals, and we got one more Corellia League event. So I got some more Star Wars cards.
Minnesota again?
I don't have anything planned at this time to come back to Minnesota. But
next time they have one.
Yeah,
we'll get at some point.
Hopefully,
hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely.
After our randomness, I should mention what we're going to talk about next week. Next week, you can hear us what was supposed to be the start of, I didn't really say it. It's supposed to be the start of Spooktober, even though this is technically in Spooktober. Oops, somebody screwed up with the freaking schedule. That guy, I'm going to fire him. And so next week you hear us talk about Chaos Legion, our first supposed to be Spooktober game, even though you hadn't 3 Spooktober.
It's okay. We're recording it in Spooktogust, so.
I mean, technically, yes, we are recording this 8/31, but I'm not releasing this till 9/6 or 9/7. So
this wasn't live?
No, I couldn't do live. There was actually a comment on one of my last episodes that I had to edit out because we made a comment, that ain't sticking, and it had to go. So I won't do these live. I'm not going to say what the comment was on here, but I will tell you guys after the air if you're interested, but not on here. So, but yeah, I don't want to do things live in general. I've thought about it, but no, not going to happen. Just not my cup of tea. I like to have the ability to edit and amplify and fix sound and make the show sound the way I want the show to sound. Not going to happen. All right, we should go to plugs. First, Alyssa, where can people find you at?
People can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Alyssa Billy. I do perler art on there. So I'll be posting some Pokemon theme stuff in honor of the show.
I saw you post some in the chat too, Raycusa, and Delibird, Sunkern, Horsey,
yes,
Ditto. I don't recognize.
More.
It makes me sad I don't recognize some. Like, is that Blaziken up there?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I don't know what the swan looking thing is.
Which one? Oh, that's Togekiss. And then the other one is Gimmighoul, the newer Pokemon.
That's, yeah. Anytime, I'm learning my Pokemon slowly, but you get too new and I'm like, what? And
those are cool.
They are cool.
Awesome.
I actually have 2 of her pieces. I have a Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, and I have the Hollow Knight guy. Unfortunately, not on my wall anymore because my cat said no. And I had to put him on a shelf instead. She's a little brat.
Your cat was just.
I love her to death.
Silksong was delayed.
I mean, she also ripped off some of my. I have a Chrono Trigger set, and 2 of them are on the floor somewhere because she said, "I don't like these on the wall. We're gonna tear these down for you." She's sweet like that. Really, what it is she demands treats, and if her servant doesn't get her treats, therefore we must wreck his house until he gives us treats. Just logical, Love her to pieces, but she's a brat. Well, sometimes you got to feed her so she gets full and she goes to sleep, and then I'll see her again for hours, and I work from home. So she's fine, but if I'm in the basement and I'm working or doing anything that doesn't involve feeding her when she decides it's treat time, it can be a very unfun 10-20 minutes while I wait to get done with what I'm doing so I can get up. Very unfun. But that's not what we're here for. Kendall, where can people find you at?
So you can find all my stuff at kendallcast.ninja. Beyond Bulbasaur is my Pokemon podcast where I describe it as like that the joy of painting, but with bad MS Paint art. It's just a little meditation about a Pokemon, and then I do on the YouTube version, which is youtube.com/KendallCast Network. I think I do a MS Paint drawing of a Pokemon that I talk about, and then the KendallCast Movie Roundtable is a movie review podcast. And those are the 2 things that are, and then the Pull List podcast is my comic book podcast, but you can find everything I do at kendallcast.ninja or youtube.com/KendallCast Network. And also Star Wars card stuff. But if you know what Star Wars cards are, you probably know me already.
Yes, I think that is a very true statement. Since I ran into a guy randomly shipping something that knew who you were or printing something, so hey. All right, and if you enjoyed this episode, over 850 other episodes of the podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics. If you want to hear the rest of our Pokemon content, it will all be in the show notes. We've done a few Pokemon episodes for the different games, so check that out. If you want to support the show, we do a Patreon, Little Dog Vote in our Patreon polls, and for $10 or more, I will plug your podcast YouTube channel for every episode I make during that while you're subscribed. So I make a lot of episodes. You can see everything we do on Podbean. You can search on Podbean for all our random ass crap that we do, because there's a lot. You never know. We just random stuff. So check that out. If you want to be a part of the show, if you want to suggest things for the show, I will get to someday. Join our Discord. It's free. We're always having new people alert, suggest things. I'm just happy to see that number go up. So take a look at that. And we'll give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro from Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram, and check out A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker, and absolutely the best podcast of Work in Progress. They talk about MCU movies, MCU adjacent movies, and for Spooktober, he's doing the Alien Predator franchise for a bit. So check all that out. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, and rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
So long.
Sayonara.
Go catch 'em all.